Well, we're here, Mecum Kansas City 2024. A lot of cool cars here. I've heard they've got close to 1,000 cars this weekend. So a lot of stuff happening. Going to be a busy weekend. Tractor Mike is here with me, and several other friends are planning on coming, so we'll see how the week shakes out, or the weekend shakes out. I do know there's a ton of cool stuff here to check out. We plan on having a lot of fun and enjoying the weekend. So let's check around and see what happens, how things go, and see how the weekend turns out. But definitely prepare to check out some cool stuff and have a lot of fun. Wide variety of cool stuff here once again this year, as always. Here's a cool one you don't see very often, 1960 Pontiac two-door hardtop. See a lot of 60 Chevy two-door hardtops. You don't see very many 60 Pontiac two-door hardtops.
Great band, aren't you?
Another cool old Pontiac, and I know a lot of you guys know that I do like Pontiacs about as much as I like Buicks. 1964 Grand Prix. I actually had one of these when I was in high school. This is a sharp car, white on white, 8-lug wheels. I'm not a fan of those steering wheels personally, but everything else in this car looks just like it should. A lot of unique features about the Grand Prix. A lot of weird trim differences, things like that. Like, I believe this car actually should have painted headlight bezels. This has full chrome headlight bezels like a Cadillac or a Bonneville. Typically a Grand Prix, this outside perimeter would be painted body color. Park lights in the grills. Steering, brakes, and air. And some unique trim differences on the back of these 64 Grand Prix as well. Where these were the tail lights on a Cadillac or a Bonneville, this was the backup light on a Grand Prix, and your tail light was actually in this tail panel right in this area, would light up when you stepped on the brakes. Cool cars, plus Grand Prix had a different design on the back window as well. Beautiful straight Nova. As always at any Mecum, a large selection of Corvettes. In fact, there's a 64 Bonneville convertible right there. So we can take a look at the 64 Bonneville convertible, and we look at the back of this, and we can see where these are the tail lights on the rear quarters, where the Grand Prix was the backup light. This Bonneville happens to be even a convertible. And that is the stock type steering wheel for 64. Wagons are always cool. You can never go wrong with a wagon. This ought to be interesting. 2000 Chevy Z71 pickup with 9,000 miles on it. Be interesting to see that one go across the block. Also Camaros, always tons of Camaros, just like Corvettes, at about any Mecum auction. This 68 in a really cool metallic green. And a Challenger convertible. Don't see a ton of those. We've got to check out these Cadillacs. Now, these just look like normal Cadillacs from up here, but they're actually not. These are actually Cadillac pickups. Yes, these are old conversions that were turned into pickups. Check these things out. They've actually got a pair of them out of the same collection this year here at Mecum. These cars have been in storage and for a long time, so they said about everything in this collection, these Cadillacs included, but it's kind of funny. You look at the back edge of what would be the tailgate, and it's kind of scratched up and used just like a tailgate would be. Like this thing was actually used as a pickup. This one was all painted on the roof. The cream colored car actually had a vinyl top. It went all the way down the side of the bed. I guess this was a bed rail bed protector from back in the 70s, from when these cars were built. Even had a trailer hitch. They actually put ribs in the bed out of old side moldings. These were old pop rivet side moldings from the 70s. You can actually pop rivet these or screw these down and then put the vinyl inserts in them. Kind of a golf door type storage bag over here on the other side. And inside, basically just a Cadillac. Super unique cars. You could pick one of these up, and I bet you would be the only one on your block with one. Still wandering around at Mecum, checking out a lot of killer cars. One thing about going to a collector car auction, it is one of the best car shows you will ever go to. Big old Eldorado. So much cool stuff. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you look. Checking out some of the cool stuff in the staging lanes. These cars are rolling up to the block right now. The staging lanes go all the way back to that far wall. All this stuff right here making its way up to the block. this section of cars here have already run through, waiting to be paid for and picked up. Like this cool little Mercury Capri. Now Mecum, if a car doesn't sell, they put this sticker on that says bid goes on. You can always go make an offer on this car. It is still available. They got a booth here that says bid goes on. You go up there, you give them the car number, and and they'll tell you kind of what they want for it. You can say, well, I'll give a little more than that. They'll call the owner and try to get a deal put together. So we'll see a lot of cars in this area with that, but we're also going to see a lot of sold stickers, just like on this Mustang GT, this Fox body. Obviously, this one says sold. Mecum Transport is going to haul this one to the new owner, and it's heading to Georgia. Little short bed Dodge pickup, sold sticker. Big old Lincoln. Kind of get the camera spun around here to get the wide shot of that big baby. They do sell some exotics here as always. Lots of F-bodies. Metropolitans. This Metropolitan's still available. Somebody still has a chance to take this one home. High bid of $6,500 on the little green and white Metropolitan. Corvettes, that is one thing Mecum is never short on, is Corvettes. There are always plenty of Corvettes at every Mecum auction. Chrysler Crossfire, those were kind of a unique little car. They haven't caught on with a heck of a following yet, but they were a unique and a pretty sporty, cool looking little car. This one's still available, only bid to $6,000. But that's the one thing people don't realize. It doesn't take a fortune to come to some of these auctions and have a good time. Good looking Bronco, full size Bronco. That one got a sold sticker on it. Thunderbird, 51 Chevy. 51 Chevy still available. Some more cars that have already been through. 75 Corvette convertible, sold sticker. The last of the convertible, so they came back in '86. Trans Am, third generation Trans Am, black and gold. That car's still available, a high bid of $13,500. So anytime you see this sticker at a Mecum auction, you can always go to the bid goes on booth and still make an offer on it, try to get that car bought. Look at that Ford. You guys know I'm a fan of these Fords. I've got my F-250 in the shop. We used one of these to haul cars when I was a kid. That's almost a twin to mine, so I'm always excited when I see one of these old Fords. This one, a highly original Sharp truck. F-350 Lariat four-wheel drive. This appears to be pretty much an original deal truck. Got that sold sticker on it. This does look to be all original paint. Old 80s era type topper. Tie down hooks on it. Good looking interior. Just a really clean old 79 F-350 four-wheel drive. Getting ready to head to a new owner. So I always get excited about these trucks, as you guys well know. Let's wander over here, check out this Cadillac. More Corvettes. Beautiful 41 Cadillac that did not sell. Still available, final bid of $22,000. Always an abundance of Chevy pickups. More Corvettes. even a Rolls Royce. It's one thing about a Mecum auction, you never know what's going to show up. Every one of them is different. Every one of them has a different docket. But you always know there's going to be some cool stuff there to check out. Square body Blazer. And check out this old Caprice. This is a very, very original Caprice Landau with the Aero Coupe style window. This body was only used from 77 to 79. This is a highly original car. There are some flaws in the paint, but that's because it's original. The interior looks good. I thought this was really kind of a cool car. There again, still available. More Camaros, early to late, all in this row, including this 93 Indy pace car. Sold sticker on that one. What made this car unique was the mileage. 89 miles. Yes, this car has 89 actual miles on it. Saturday at Mecum Auctions. We're going to show you a few of the cool cars going to be rolling across the block today here. Getting ready to wrap things up. Have to get out of here and go back to the real world coming up first of the week. But anyway, we're still here. Let's check out a few more cool cars. Now, we've done a lot of cool Twister stuff over the years on the channel with our friend Jim Wicks. There is a Twister here, a 428 automatic Twister Mustang. Now, if you've caught the other videos we've done on Twisters, you'll know that the 428s, there were 24 with a 4-speed, 24 with an automatic, and the same split on 351 cars. Half automatics, half 4-speeds. This one's going to be rolling across the block a little bit later today. Now, one thing that's interesting that we've not done on Twister cars is the Twister 2. There is actually a Twister 2 here. Yes, they did make a Fox body Twister 2. Interesting little car. All the original documentation with this car as well. For the 1985 model year. So these are ones we haven't talked about a lot, but yes, they did make them. And yes, they've got one more Twister here. We've shared some of these with you in the past. The Twister Torino. This car actually sold new in Great Bend. Yes, this was a Twister that was sold in Great Bend, Kansas. And it will be going to a new home today. Rolling across the block a little bit later today. We can see it's S122, and it is no reserve. And we can see right here, it was sold new at Spruill's in Great Bend. Let's go check out some other stuff rolling across the block today. Gold Corvette. S104, going to be rolling up there here shortly. Challenger convertible. And we can see this row thinning out. Nothing on the other side of that green Camaro because these cars have headed to the lanes. Getting ready to roll across the block here shortly. This Corvette's kind of an interesting car. This will ring a bell for some of you guys back in the late 80s. This is not your standard Corvette, as you can tell by the wheels. Yes, this is one of the Callaway cars. A twin turbo Callaway. Back in the late 80s, this was a pretty impressive setup. You don't see these cars very often. This one even signed. So these things were super unique. The twin ducts in the hood. In the late 80s, when the performance world was pretty dismal, this was about as good as it got. So definitely kind of interesting to see one of these cars here. Even an Isetta. You got a BMW Isetta here. Kind of a funky little car. And those are tiny. As you'll see, there's no doors on the side. That's because the whole front of these things actually open up. Pretty unique little cars. Well, it's Saturday afternoon at Kansas City Mecum. Still got a few cars that are running through. We're gonna walk around, check out a few more things, and probably kind of wind this thing down since it's getting towards the end of the day. Been a good weekend, had a lot of fun. I did buy one car. We'll be sharing that with you here in the very near future. But for a minute, let's check out a few other things sitting around, like this 59 Olds Custom. That's a pretty unique car. Did a pretty wild job on this thing. But if you want an old cruiser, lead sled type car, this thing was pretty cool. Lots of flames, lots of deep colors, dual rear aerials. And even though there's a lot of custom paint, that's all stock. Almost looks custom, but that is all, that whole body line is just the way a 59 Oldsmobile was. Pretty cool when they're that cool to start with. Put some cool paint in with it, you got a really nice custom. That's always a lot of fun. While we're over here, let's walk past this 40 Ford convertible. This car was a knockout. Look at this thing. This car was an amazing restoration. Beautiful car. Inside, outside, this thing just looks great. The 44 Deluxe, popular car, always been a very popular car. Someone really took a lot of time to do this one right. Before this car rolled across the block yesterday, they had this thing up on blocks, and I bet they had at least 10 or 12 mirrors underneath this car. They had mirrors under this car front to back. It is that finely detailed that they put that many mirrors under to really show off the bottom of it. Another thing about a Mecum auction, you really never know what's going to show up. We can look at this gorgeous 40 Ford, and then right across the way, these big international trucks. Completely out of my wheelhouse. I don't know anything about these things. They look like beasts, but I definitely don't know a thing about them. Now, all these cars here have run through. Kind of walking through, checking stuff out. And it really gives you an idea of the diversity. We've showed you on a lot of these other clips, there's so much stuff that shows up. And just a little bit of something for everybody's taste. Just like those internationals, I don't know a thing about them, but I'm sure there's guys that dig them. Same thing with the Corvettes, the Porsches, the pickups, the Jeeps. Just such a diverse selection. Even green Metropolitans. And that's what makes these a lot of fun. That's why we do it. We have a group of friends that come. We've been coming to these things for years. And we have a great time doing it. And that's really what makes it the most fun. Seeing your friends, hanging out for a couple days, hanging out, checking out a lot of cars. And you never know. At the end of the day, you might be taking one home. We got to figure out how to get one home, but we're going to work on that here in a little bit. And I'll be sharing that with you here soon. But Laguna, you don't see Lagunas very often. And it is literally the gamut from the Laguna to the Internationals, the 40 Ford, the Corvettes, the Porsches, station wagons. All the way back to Model A's.
You know how to do it, girl.
And a large selection of Broncos, Blazers, and of course pickups. So that's kind of what it boils down to. That's why we do it, is we do it because it's fun. Hanging out with your friends, Alan, Tractor Mike, you know, those guys who've been coming for years. My dad usually comes. He didn't make it this time. I saw a ton of friends here, and that's what it's all about. Hanging out with your friends, making memories, and having a good time. And that's what we always do here. And that's why we've been doing it for so long, and that's why we have fun doing it. So hope you guys enjoyed the coverage. We've got some great Jim Wicks videos coming up. As always, every time we're at a Mecum, we got to spend a little time with our good friend Jim Wicks. We got some of those coming up. You don't want to miss those either. Hope you guys enjoyed the coverage. A little bit from the block, checking out some of the cool cars, and having a lot of fun. So stay tuned. We got more cool stuff coming up from Mecum, more cool stuff coming into the yard. You don't want to miss any of it. So click that subscribe button, everybody. We hope to see you soon on the next video. Thanks for watching.